So like I know, like I mentioned, I know your time here has been challenging. I mean, I know Roxanne was having conversations with you, and I know you've had challenge.
I never talked to Roxanne. Roxanne never talked to me.
Okay, I believe.
You never met with Roxanne?
No.
Okay. Well, you and I did meet, and I know that we had our conversation about what's been happening to you here at iHouse, how you've been feeling about people, feeling alienated from people, very specifically, right? You and I met last, what was it, February 20th or 21st?
I don't recall the date. Approximately a few weeks to a month.
Okay. So we had a meeting where you kind of came to me and talked to me about wanting to know who had reported you back in.
Slandered me.
Reported you back, or kind of to the the CSI office, and we talked about how we don't know who had submitted those reports. And
No, they didn't slander me to the CSI office. They slandered me to resident support services, who then relayed that information to CSI.
Okay, so from that interaction, we don't know. As I mentioned to you, we don't know who had reported you, and you were talking about two very specific residents that you wanted
You
me to have
don't know who reported me, or you're keeping that information confidential?
I don't know who reported you.
Your office doesn't have a record of it?
I don't have that information. The CSI might have that information.
But the information came to CSI from resident support services.
Right, I wasn't.
Well, if they're UC employees, they're mandated reporters, and so if someone comes with an accusation against a resident and it's a topic that they're mandated by law to report, then they report it to the
But
the
why are
office
you
to
guys
do a
acting like that information isn't there?
To be honest, I haven't looked. You didn't talk to anyone at resident services?
I was not made aware of it until Roxanne left, until after she left.
Okay, but then someone in the office informed you that they had filed a report to campus?
The first email I received about information regarding any of this was from the Center of Supported Intervention,
Okay.
who eventually told me that the information came from resident support services here.
Okay. If a resident reached out to resident support with a topic that, again, they're mandated to report that to campus.
Why isn't there a record of it now?
I don't know if there is a record or isn't a record, but even if I had the record, I couldn't share that information with you because it is a confidential report, and that's the nature of confidentiality.
It's a confidential report pertaining with information regarding to me, so you're saying I can't access information about myself?
I'm saying that someone had you can go online, all of the policies for campus and confidentiality are online. It's all state law or federal law in cases of FERPA. And what can be shared with you is shared with you, and what can't isn't, right? And it's not that, anyone is out to treat anyone different. It's a process that when people feel they've have a legitimate issue, that they're not afraid of reporting that because of retaliation. Right?
So people can abuse this system to slander people and maintain anonymity.
Well, I haven't seen the report because it's not available to me either, since I'm not an employee of the university, so I don't have access to any of this information as well. It goes to campus, and what they share with you, they can.
The information's not at campus. It went to resident support services before it went to campus.
Right.
And that goes right
from a UC employee, right? So,
in any case, I think what's important is we wanted to have this conversation with you to acknowledge, the question that we had as follow-up, because you had mentioned that you were being bullying. Somebody was bullying you here at iHouse, and we take that very seriously, which is why we're having this conversation with you both. I had told you in our last meeting that I would meet with both of the residents that you had mentioned specific incidents with. And so I told you that I would have a conversation with them about the incidents at that time. And one of them was Shu Ting, which you had mentioned, had when you went to knock on her door, that she had closed the door and told you to leave her alone. And so that was one incident.
You didn't explicitly say leave me alone.
I think that's what you said in the notes, or said, oh, you need help. I believe that's what you said. So she had told you. I have, from what you had recollected and told me from your your conversation with me that you were very thrown off that she had kind of just told you.
She made remarks about a professional and suggested I go to a religious site such as a temple.
Okay.
No context to it.
No context, and so you had said you were very thrown off by that conversation. I told you I would have a follow-up about that interaction because you had come and reported that as, bullying. And so
No, that's not. I'm saying that. Let me think. The bullying is the slander. That's what I'm heavily concerned about, in that it's not being taken seriously here.
You did file a complaint to the campus about this.
Who is the campus?
I don't know. I
you
didn't
filed
file
the
it. I
complaint
understand
to
that you.
the, you had told me you filed something with the disciplinary action or disciplinary committee. Or
Who is
you had-
that?
Student.
What office? Do you have a name?
I don't know. Did you file a complaint to anybody on campus? I didn't do
Do
it.
I need to disclose this information?
I'm just asking. Like I said, this isn't disciplinary. I'm just trying to figure out where we're at and how do we make.
How do we support you? How do we make sure that you're?
I want bullying not to be tolerated here.
Mhm. And how would you suggest we do that?
Do you have any ideas?
I'm asking you. I'm asking for your feedback. I feel like you're.
If nothing else, removal from eviction. If nothing's enforceable, you suggested, Nayeli, to meet with them, the people who are bullying, to say that they can't talk about me. But how do you think that's enforceable in any way here? So that's why I think if that's
so
not
just to go back to
enforceable,
that conversation,
then
I did not.
eviction would be an option.
So I'm trying to understand what you're saying here because when we met, you didn't. When I asked you who is bullying you, you didn't specify that they were. You wanted to know who had reported you. That was your ultimate, wanting
Reporting
to know.
someone for false information is bullying.
Right, but we've identified that we don't know who did that. So you've zoned in on two individuals that you mentioned by name and said that they knew who it was and they weren't.
He said he knows who it is.
I don't know. They both told me they don't know. Shooting, I believe, wasn't here last year.
She was here last semester.
Last year when this was reported.
This wasn't reported. This was reported in November of 2020.
Okay, so just to kind of make sure we're on the same page, neither of them know anything about who might have
Are
reported
you telling me they don't know, or are you saying they said they don't know? That's two different things.
What I know is that they both said they do not know, and what I also know is that we've received some reporting from our RAs and dining hall staff that you've been a little bit too persistent and raising your voice with some residents about they don't know the specifics because they could just see the interaction. So I wanted to know what is happening, what is leading to that place where you're taking it, trying to take it into your hands, maybe trying to have a conversation and ask them. They've already told you they don't know anything, so
no one told. Who's telling me they don't know anything?
You just told the two people that you've mentioned in the past have been shooting Wu, and
No, you just said that they told you that they don't know anything. They didn't tell me that they don't know anything.
Well, I had a conversation with them following the meeting that you and I had.
But I'm saying that's not what they said to me.
I don't know what they said to you.
But you just are saying right now.
I don't know what they said to you.
You just said right now that they told me that they don't know. They never told me that they don't know. And you are saying that right now.
I'm saying they told me they don't know.
I
I just want us to calm down. You're raising your voice, and I don't think this is appropriate. Okay, let's calm down.
Bullying's not appropriate where I live.
I understand, but right now, you are going and yelling at other residents, and that's not helping the situation, right? I know, and I want to validate that you're feeling that is happening to you, but in what you're doing, going back and trying to get this information from other people is not perceived in a good way, right? So without your intention might not be to be, screaming at someone or whatnot, but that is what's happening. So that is also important for us. We want to make sure everyone has a safe environment here, right? So right now that's not happening. People aren't, I want to know where, what is happening. Why are you, I understand you want to know who reported you. That's why you came to my office initially. I don't know that is confident, and if I did know, as you know, as I mentioned in my email, based on FERPA, we can't release any information that has any other student's name.
You don't know, or you don't want to look at any records. If there aren't any records, do you think it's professional to not keep records of bullying?